Donald Trump introduced a controversial travel ban that restricted entry to the United States for citizens from several countries, primarily Muslim-majority nations. Here's the tape.
We will not let what happened in Europe happen to America. The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them. That is why today I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others. We will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping America safe.
Well, while the policy evolved over time and affected a total of 12 countries at different stages, the reasons behind the ban were complex and widely debated. But here we want to look into 5 key reasons the Trump administration gave or implied for implementing the travel restrictions. So reason number 1 behind the Trump's travel ban on 12 countries is about the national security concerns. So one of the central justifications offered by the Trump administration was the protection of national security. You see, in most Americans, when it comes to security, they are always very strict and also concerned. So the ban was presented as a way to prevent potential terrorists from entering the United States. So another thing is, according to the administration, that's Trump administration, several of the countries on the list lack the capacity or willingness to provide sufficient information about their citizens to allow the proper vetting. Before you go to the United States, there is that serious vetting that always happens. So these countries did not provide sufficient information about their citizens to allow for proper vetting. And then also the argument was that without reliable background checks, the U.S. could be vulnerable to infiltration by individuals with dangerous intentions. For example, your terrorists that was mentioned there.
I directed the Secretary of State to perform a security review of high-risk regions and make recommendations for where restrictions should be imposed. Among the national security threats their analysis considered are the large-scale presence of terrorists, failure to cooperate on visa security, inability to verify travelers' identities, inadequate record-keeping of criminal histories, and persistently high rates of illegal visa overstays, and other things.
The second reason behind Trump's travel ban on 12 countries is immigration system reforms. Americans have the best systems in the world that inakuonyesha black and white. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's not, it's right, it's right. So the travel ban also aligned with Trump's border immigration policies, which are put in place. Na zikishawekwa zimewekwa, so there's no trespass. So the administration aimed to reduce overall immigration and reassert control over U.S. borders. Kuna to those people that trespass from other countries to America. So I think they also targeted that. So by targeting countries that are alleged post higher risks, the ban was seen as a step towards restructuring could enter the United States and under what circumstances. However, critics viewed this approach as discriminatory and inconsistent with American values. So let's listen to this clip.
Make no mistake, this discriminatory policy is shameful, and as history books look back at this moment, it will be a stain on our country. Donald Trump's proclamation is riddled with outright falsehoods. It relies on debunked statistics and is rife with internal contradictions. He claims this is a way to make us safer, but let me be absolutely clear. it won't make us safer. It will separate families and endanger lives. Because of this decision, our country would lose out on incredible contributions that people from these countries would have otherwise made to our neighborhoods and to our society. Contributions like becoming doctors, educators, and public servants. This decision will not only hurt our country, it will have an immediate, disastrous implications. For some Americans, it will mean their fiancés or spouses or children will be banned from reuniting with them here.
Third countries behind Trump's ban on 12 countries is about country non-cooperation and vetting standards. Another reason cited as was that some countries on the banned list did not cooperate with U.S. authorities on immigration matters or failed to meet the U.S. vetting standards. So the administration argued that the ban was necessary until these countries improved their identity management, shared critical information, and established stronger passport control. You see? So Trump amekuja na rules kweli. You know, people said Trump akiingia, people will see fire, and it's really happening. So the idea was to put pressure on these governments to cooperate more fully with American security protocol. Trump for you. The fourth reason why Trump bans 12 countries travel to US is tied close to the national security argument was the belief that these countries were breeding grounds for extremist ideologies. Although most people from these countries had no connection to terrorism. I don't know why they did that. So the administration believed that banning travel from high risks begins could reduce the chance of extremist elements, slipping through the cracks. However, this reasoning was widely challenged by experts who noted that no major terror attack in the US had been, carried out by nationals from the countries including the original ban. Sijui nasumbua Trump, by the way. Anyway, that's Trump for you. Last reason why Trump banned these countries from entering to US is political messaging and fulfilling campaign promises. The travel ban also served as political purpose. Why? Because during his 2016 campaign, if you remember, Trump promised a Muslim ban, and many viewed the travel ban as a rebranded version of that pledge. So implementing the ban helped Trump appeal to his political base by showing that he was taking decisive action on immigration and terrorism. Although critics urge that it was more about fulfilling a campaign promise than creating an effective security policy. Now, in summary, what is this whole thing about? This is that while the Trump administration framed the travel ban as a matter of national security and policy reform, it also carried strong political and symbolic meanings. How? The policy faced numerous legal challenges and was widely condemned as discriminatory, eventually leading to its revocation under the President Joe Biden in 2021. That's it for today. I've been your host, David Cham. See you in the next video. If you're new here, watching for the first time, remember to subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye.